Hey, what up everybody? This is OP here at the Serato studio in Brooklyn, and today is the release of Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1. And this now supports two different pieces of Denon gear. The first one here in front of me, the Denon Prime 4 controller. This thing's great, 4-deck DJing, a huge 10-inch screen on it, does a bunch of stuff. And then right next to it here, I have the Denon DJ SC5000M. This is a 7-inch motorized media player that also has a touchscreen on it, 7-inch touchscreen on it as well. So we're gonna talk about both here, the Prime 4 DJ controller and also the SC5000M motorized Platter media player, and go through all the features that locks in with Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1 available right now for you to download. So let's jump into the Denon Prime 4 controller. The beautiful thing about this controller is that this 10-inch screen here allows you to do so many things inside of Serato DJ Pro. The first thing we're gonna do is actually connect Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1 to the controller. So here on the screen, I have this little computer icon, and when I press this, this is gonna ask me if I wanna go into controller mode, so I'm gonna press yes. And now switching into controller mode, it's gonna switch over and have the connection for Serato DJ Pro. It connects right away. And now inside of the screen, I have a bunch of information. I have my left deck, my right deck, decks 1 and 2. I also have the ability to go through my crates, so I can scroll through and find different stuff that I want to play. I can press down on it and then scroll through the tracks that are directly inside the crate. Or if I have my prep window here, my prepare window, if I have a track in there, I can pull a track from the prepare window and load it in and do the thing. So, and I can actually get a little more view to look at things as well. So if I'm in my crates here, I can see more of the crates as I'm scrolling down. And if I go to, let's say, a crate that has a lot of songs in it, then it gives me more view to look at the songs. And to that point, because it's a touchscreen, now I can organize the songs by name, I can organize it by the artist, by the BPM, by the key, or the amount of time that's left in the song, or for the song, pardon me. So easy, just being a touchscreen, organize everything the way that you want to view it to be able to find your songs and be able to play and get busy. I'll go back here to my crates, I'll go back to my Denon crate here, and inside of it, then I have these songs that are here, and I can get busy and start to play. So I already have a song loaded up. I'm gonna press this here to give me more of my view of my deck. And inside the deck, I have the name of the song, the BPM, the key, I have the BPM, sync, auto loop, beat jump, percentage that I move with my pitch adjust, the pitch adjust range. And I also have the option to needle search through my track as well. So I can press here on the screen and I can needle search jumping through the song to the place that I want to be to start playing. So there's a lot of great information here inside the screen. Now, for the sake of this video, I have the screen actually down so you can actually see everything that's happening. But if I wanted to, I could actually lift the screen up as such, and I can adjust it to the positioning that I want it to be in. So if I like it right here, I can have this little latch come here and it locks it in, so it's good to go. But again, for the sake of this video, so you can see everything, I'm gonna keep it flat so you can see everything running right here. So this controller, again, 4 channels. Let me play some music here real quick. All right, so let's go down the channel here on the mixer. We have gain, we have EQs, which are isolator EQs. We also have our sweep effects, which give you filter, echo, wash, and noise. With filter, I can go high pass and cut out all the way, or I can go low pass and get a little bit of that rumble left over at the bottom. Good, strong, responsive volume faders. Same thing with the crossfader as well. Really smooth, sounds really great, and feels really strong. And I also have the option to choose where I want my effects to be routed on the channels. If I want to go effect slot number 1 for channel 1 or effect slot number 2 for channel 1 and vice versa on all the other channels. And we can get to those in the effect slots up here, which we're gonna get to in a second. But first we're gonna focus on the kind of platter side here for the controller. So I have my play here and my temporary cue. So that's there, very easy to use. Right above that, I have sync on and off. So if I'm playing with another song and I want to sync up, I can easily press sync. And if I don't want it there, then I can hold down shift and press sync off, and then it's gone. And then I have the option here to beat jump. Right, very easily. And I can also go through tracks in my library by doing the track skips. So I went back to the first song in my library, which is the song that you're hearing right now. But if I wanted to load up another track, I could press it and it would then load that song up. Very easy and good to go. This Platter feels really, really great. Responsive, feels great, and you can see that as it responds, you see that the lights change here too, right? So you can see that you're actually doing something here with the Platter, right? And you have the option to be able to control decks 1 and 3 on this side, and then on this side, decks 2 and 4 over here. And the colors are indicated here. So if I move over to deck 3, now this is red, deck 1 is still playing, and if I wanted to play a track on deck 3, I could easily do so without a problem, right? Right above that, I have my sensor. And if I hold down shift, then I have reverse. And then right above that is where my auto loops and my manual loops are. So if I want to choose an auto loop, I can choose the size by turning the encoder knob and then pressing down on it. And then I'm able to have that auto loop engage, and I can make it go smaller in size or larger in size, higher in size. And if I want to get out of it, I can press down on it again and it's out. If I make an auto loop and I hold down shift, I can now move that loop to any position that I want it to be in. And again, press down and again, and I'm out of it. And if I want to make a manual loop, I can punch in and out very quickly. And if I'm good with that, I can let it ride, or if I want to get out of it again, press down on the encoder knob, and I'm out of it very quickly, right? Moving over, I have slip. So with slip, it's gonna catch back to the place it should have been in the song had I not done any type of movement, whether it be a cut, a scratch, a backspin, or even pressing a cue point. It's gonna jump right back to where it should have been in the song had I not done that. So slip is there. And then right next to that on the other side is vinyl. So now with vinyl on, the Platter, when I move it, is now slowing down or speeding up the track, kind of pushing and pulling, instead of it actually being for motions for cutting and scratching. With vinyl back on, it's gonna do just like a Platter would for scratching. Right next to that, I have my key lock. So I can turn the key lock on or off. With the key lock off, when I move the pitch adjust, it's gonna change the pitch of the song. As I move the pitch adjust up or down for faster or slower speeds. But if I turn that key lock back on, then I'll be able to keep that same key or that same pitch as I'm going along, moving the pitch adjust. Right, speeding up in speed, but the pitch or the key of the track is staying the same, right? And if I hold down shift, I can then key sync 2 songs together. So if I had another song playing on this side that was in a different key, I could have both of those keys be in the same key all together and be good to go. So a lot of great stuff happening here. This pitch adjust slider feels really, really comfortable, it's really smooth, no problems at all. I can also do pitch bending here if I want to. So if I'm trying to speed up or slow down a track to make it kind of fit in without adjusting the pitch adjust, I can do it with the pitch bend, just as I would if I was pushing or pulling here on the Platter. I can do that here with the minus and the plus to try to make those 2 beats match up together with the pitch bend. And when I hold down shift, now when I press the pitch bend, I can change the range of my pitch adjust slider here. So here, I can change this to go +10 -10, +16 -16, +50 -50, and +100 -100. It initially started off at +6 -6, and then goes up to +8 -8, and up and down as you go along. So when I go to +100 -100, I have full range . I have full range to be able to work with, right? So I'm gonna bring that back down to +8 -8 in a kind of normal range that you would see on a turntable to be able to play. The shift button basically takes care of everything that has something white underneath it, right? So in this instance before, I was just using the range to change for the pitch adjust by holding down shift and then pressing the buttons. And that's gonna be the same for pretty much anything else that you see on the controller that has something white underneath it. You hold down shift and you can press those buttons and something happens with it. Right below that, I have my beat grids. So what's great about the beat grids is that if I have a track that's a little bit off with the beat grids, I can manually adjust it from the controller instead of having to go inside of Serato DJ Pro to adjust the grids. So I'm not gonna do too much here because this is actually really locked in pretty well. But again, if I needed to adjust the grids, I could press the edit grid here, and then I can now move the grids around if I need to make them all work and come together. And once I'm done, I can press it again and it's good to go. If I need to reset the grid, if I made some changes, I could hold down Shift and then press the edit grid, and I would reset everything and be set. Below this, I have the parameter buttons. And with the parameter buttons, they will all work for certain features. The parameter buttons will work with certain features with your hotkey modes or your performance pad modes. So let's talk about the performance pad modes here really quickly. The first one we have is hotkey. So the performance pads feel really strong, feel really nice, and they will show up for the hot cues and the colors that you have inside of Serato DJ Pro. So if you have red, for example, it's red here. And if you change the color inside of Serato DJ Pro, it will also change here as well. If I make a mistake in making a hot cue, which I did earlier, then I can hold down Shift and then press those cue points, those hot cues, and delete them. And maybe I don't want this one either, so I can Shift and delete it, and it's gone. If I press hot cue for the second time, it's now gonna allow me to do cue loop. And what cue loop is gonna do is that it's gonna trigger the first cue point and also make a loop at the place in the song where the cue point's at for the size of the loop that you have set in the program. So when I made this, it had a 2-beat loop, which is why it's looping in 2 beats right now. And if I want to adjust that, I can use the parameter button, which I was talking about before, to shift it to make it longer or shorter. So right now it's at 4 beats, and I can now make it to 8 and so on and so forth as I'm going along. And when I want to re-trigger it, I can hold down Shift and use it like a hot cue to trigger it. And when I want to get out of that loop, I can go here to the auto loop encoder knob and press this, and now I'm out of it and I'm good to go. When I hold down Shift and hot cue, this will allow me to trigger any flips that I might have on a track. Now on this track, I don't have a flip set up, but if I had flips, I could trigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any one of the 6 flips that I would have on a track to be able to play. Once again, I'm just holding down Shift and pressing hot cue to get to that feature. All right, so going from hot cues in the performance modes to go to loop, when you press it, this will allow you to do manual loops, punching in, punching out, and being able to trigger the manual loops. When you press it for the second time, that will get you into your auto loops. So there you can see I can make an auto loop happen very easily, and I can adjust the range of that with the parameter buttons very easily here. And you can see it changing here on the controller. And when I want to get out of it, I can just press it again and I'm done. Right below that are the beat jumps. So with the beat jumps, I can go beat jump for a value as low as 1/32 of a beat or as high as 32 beats. So here at 32 beats, I'm just gonna jump ahead 8 bars and it's gonna be right on time. And if I want to jump backwards, I'll press this over here. And I can also do that by using, again, the beat jump features with the buttons here. So again, you can see it working either here with the buttons for beat jump dedicated or using the pad features for the beat jumps as well. When I go to the next performance pad mode, which is roll, this will allow me to roll the beat in whatever beat size that I have it set to, and then it will jump back forward in the song where it should have been had I not done the roll in the first place. And then right below that again as well are more beat jump features that you can use. When you press roll for the second time, that will get you to the sampler. So when I go here to my sampler inside Serato DJ Pro, I can assign the sampler to any output that I want it to go to. Right now I'm gonna assign it to go to channel 4. And when I press any of the pads, it will trigger off the samplers that I have there. Classic air horn, you know what it is. All right, so that is the sampler by pressing roll for the second time. We also have the slicer, which will allow us to be able to take basically fourths or quarter notes in each of the track over two bars, pardon me, and then be able to kind of play them back in the way that I want to, right? So in this instance, I can go through and kind of replay each one of those pieces as I want to. And if I press this for the second time, it will then loop that 2-bar section, and then I can continue to make those slices happen. Very easy. When I hold down Shift and Slicer, this will now get me into pitch play mode. And if I use the parameter buttons, I can change the range and the semitones for pitch play. So again, very easy to get to all those features by either pressing one time, pressing a second time, or using Shift and pressing the performance pad mode to get to any of those features that you want to get to work with. Okay, so let's talk about the effects section on the controller. So you have effect slot number 1 and effect slot number 2 over here. We'll focus on 1. So with 1, I actually have a screen here which is telling me exactly what effect that I have from Serato DJ Pro directly here on the screen. So the first effect that I have set up is the low pass filter, the second one is delay, and the third one is reverb. And then here I have the amount of beats for the timing for such time effects such as delay and echo and so on and so forth. So here I'm going to turn the on button on, and you can see that on turns on in the screen inside of Serato DJ Pro, and when I go to turn it, I now get that low pass working for me. I'm gonna turn on the delay, and this is gonna go by 1 beat because 1 set here for the beats. And I can change that by using the beat buttons here to go by a half, a fourth, eighth, and so on and so forth. And I also have reverb, so I'll turn that on. And what's really cool about this controller is that it has this knob here that will turn all of them on at the same time if I want to have a combo effect of the 3 of them working together. So when I turn the knob, the low pass filter, the delay, and the reverb are all moving at the same time. So you can do some really dramatic effects by using this one knob here to control everything at the same time if you want to, which is really great. Also, if you want to select a certain effect for a certain effect slot, you can do so by holding down Shift and then turning the encoder knob. So here in the screen, it's moving around and I can figure out which one I want to choose. I'm going to say tape echo for effect slot number 1. And when I let go of it, it's now going to say tape echo here. And when I turn this encoder knob, and that's also post fader effect too, which is really great, right? So it's got that kind of like tape kind of sound to it. And again, that post fader working with the echo there is really great for doing types of volume fade effects and such while you're playing. So the effects slot section here on the controller is extremely great. And you can also combine, if you want to, the effects from Serato DJ Pro while also using the sweep effects that are on the controller. So if you have a delay going on here and you want to do a filter from here or something else, you can do both of those things at the same time and get really busy. So let's go to the mic section. So in the mic section, we have mics 1 and mic 2, which have XLR jacks on the back. We have the on buttons here. And for mic 1, we have level, low EQ, mid EQ, and high EQ. On mic number 2, we have the level, the low EQ, the high EQ, and then we also have an echo level. The echo can be turned on for both mic 1 and mic 2 and then adjusted here if you want to use it. So if you're doing performances, or if you're doing corporate gigs or weddings and so on and so forth, these mics are going to work really well for you. If you want to add the echo onto it for a little bit of flair, you can do that here too. It also has the talk over, so when you press this, it's going to duck down the audio so that way when you talk, people are able to hear you much clearer. So let's talk about this side of the controller right now. Over here we have the master level, and on the back we have XLRs for the master out. And the sound on this is really strong, so you don't have to push the master in order to get a great sound out of it. Even with it right here, it sounded really great. Right next to it, I have the Zone, and Zone's really interesting. So with Zone, you have separate XLR outputs on the back, and if you want to, you can send a separate channel to the Zone for other music to play in another place. So if you had a speaker in another room or another section of the place that you're at, but you want different music to be there, you can now have control with the Zone for the level, and then also for the EQs for low and also for high. Right below that, we have the booth, and the booth also has an XLR output, so you're gonna get a really strong sound coming out your booth, whether you be in a club situation or you're doing a private event, you want to have really good sound coming out your booth speaker, XLR going out, and again, your booth levels here, and you also have EQs for lows and highs here. Right next to that, you also have a section for your SD card and also USB 1 and 2, meaning that if you have a USB stick or hard drive or an SD card, and those things have the Serato DJ library on it, then what you can do with the songs, what you can do is pop it in here, and if you have your computer connected, those songs from the library will show up inside of the computer to play. So if you have a partner who wants to play with you, and they have their hard drive with all their songs and the Serato DJ library on it, but they don't want to use their computer to connect, they can just pop their USB sticks in here with the library. It's going to show up here, all the crates, all the songs. They can play off of your computer, and when they're finished, as long as they're not playing a song from that drive, they can press eject and safely eject out the drive without any issue whatsoever. Really great feature added on. And here, right in the middle, we have the option to do some navigating through the program for your library. So here, the back button will allow me to go between the songs in the crate and the crate itself. And you can see that kind of switching here in the screen. And then once you are in the crates, you can go through the crates and then figure out something else that you want to play by scrolling through the crates. Very easy. I'm gonna press the back button again and go back to this crate here. And then here, if I wanted to, I could load a song by pressing load for the left side or for the right side as well, very easily, right? So you can also do 4-deck DJing from this controller. Right now I'm on deck 1 here, but if I want to control deck 3, I can easily press deck 3. The track inside of deck 3 is empty, and I can load a track in. And now track 3 or deck 3 is playing. Deck 1 is down, and I can go back to deck 1 and re-trigger it if I want to bring it back in. Easy to do. And on this side, the same thing, decks 2 and deck 4 here, I can make those things happen. Now, the great thing about this controller is that you can also add turntables to this. On the back are phono inputs that you can lock into the controller with turntables. If you purchase the Serato DVS expansion pack from Serato.com, you'll be able to use turntables to control DVS here with this controller. So you would have control both with the platters, but also with control vinyl if you're using turntables with needles connected to this controller as well. So again, another great feature to kind of add on to the greatness of all the things that are happening here with the Prime 4. All right, so that's a quick overview on the Denon DJ Prime 4 controller that now works with Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1. Make sure you go to the website and download that right now. But what I'm gonna do for right now is switch this all around. I'm gonna bring over the Denon DJ SC5000M over here along with the X1800 mixer, and we're gonna show how we can use that with both HID mode and club kit to work with the new version of Serato, which is out right now. Check it out. So let's first jump into the X1800 mixer and talk about how we connect it with the club kit. This thing's really great. 4-channel mixer, isolator EQs, a separate filter section, but you also have your sound coloring effects here with your dub echo, your noise, your washout, and your gate, and those are all controlled here by separate knobs. So it separates the filter from the sound coloring effects. And then you also have your beat effects over here. And the great part about this is that this has 2 USBs on it that can connect directly to Serato DJ Pro to be able to use it using the club kit. Now the club kit is a combination of your Serato DJ Pro license along with a DVS expansion pack. As long as you have those 2 things, then when you connect via USB into the mixer to your computer, Serato DJ Pro will pop up and you'll be ready and good to go to play. So here we have, again, USB 1 connected directly to my computer. And to make sure that I'm getting some sound, I'll press my first cue point. So we're seeing that that sound's coming out of channel 2, which I have set for channel 1 inside of Serato DJ Pro routed here. And the same thing's gonna happen on the other channel here when I start to play later on. So that's the connection with the club kit with the X1800 mixer into Serato DJ Pro. So let's get into the fun stuff. All right, so the SC5000Ms originally were made to work with the Engine Prime software, the software that Denon makes for these media players. So with Engine Prime, you'll be able to put your music into a playlist and then be able to export that out to a USB stick or an SD card. You could pop it into the media player and start to play. And that's pretty cool. They have a pretty cool thing with that. But if you wanted to use Serato prior to this new connection that we have now, you would have had to put your control tone onto a USB stick, something like this, and then pop it in here and then connect RCA cables from the media player to the mixer and then connecting the mixer USB to the computer and you're playing in relative mode. Pretty much similar to how you'd be doing the same thing with another set of like CDJs and mixer in a club setting, right? Now with HID mode, we can not have to worry about this anymore and we can go directly to the computer via USB. And we're gonna talk about how that connection works right now. So on the back of each of the media players, there's a USB-B port. So you can go from here and then connect it via USB-A into the next media player. And then from that media player, you would go USB-B or C going to your computer. So basically it's just linking both of the media players together to go to Serato DJ Pro. And once that's set, then you can start making the connectivity happen here inside the screen. On the screen, media player 1 and media player 2, we have this little computer icon here. And when we press this icon, it's gonna ask us if we wanna go into controller mode. So I'm gonna say yes for it here, and it's gonna start to switch. And the same thing here as well. I'm gonna press yes here, and it's gonna start to switch over. Once it's in controller mode, then you can choose the deck that you want to control inside of Serato DJ Pro. So on this deck here, I'm going to choose deck 1, and on this one here, I'm going to choose deck 2. And now I have that connectivity. You see things start to light up and you see things are about to start playing and moving. So this is a 7-inch screen. It's touch. So as you see, I pressed deck 1 here and was able to select it, and also deck 2 here and able to select it. The touchscreen works really, really well, right? So there's certain features. If I want to go to my library, I can press the little crates here and I can scroll through my crates very easily, right? If I want to go to the individual songs inside of a crate, then I can press then there for the songs and then scroll through all those songs there. Or if I want to go to the prepare window, if I had a song in the prepare window, I could find that and load it up as well. So here I'm going to go down to this folder here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go here. And now here I have the option to be able to load songs in. So I already have a song in right now, but I can just load another one in just so you can see that it actually loads it in. I'll go back to the previous song and load it in, and super easy, good to go, right? All right, so let's talk about these platters. These are 7-inch motorized platters. They feel really great. You can cut, scratch, backspin, all the things that you do on a regular turntable, but right here on a 7-inch platter on a media player. So really quickly, you see that it has some responsiveness. I can bring it back. Really easy, really simple, really smooth. These are connected via a little screw that's here inside of the middle here for the spindle. What you basically have to do is just take this little screw and unscrew it with an Allen wrench key that comes with the media player. So you can tighten it up to where you want it to be, or if you want to put your own 7-inch slip mat on here, You can take this off, put your own slip mat on, butter rug, whatever the case may be, and then tighten it back on, you're good to go. Don't lose this because you need this in order to keep this tightened up or to switch it out, okay? Cool. So with the platter moving, we have play and stop or pause here on the media player. We have our temporary cue there. We also have our hot cues here to be the trigger. We have 8 of them, just like inside of Serato DJ Pro. So if I want to make another hot cue, I can press it and it makes one. And if I don't like it, then I can press Shift and press it and delete it and it's gone. I have the option to be able to beat jump through the track if I want to by using the beat jump features that are here, but I also have the option to be able to go through tracks that are in my library by using the track skip. So I can track skip, go to the next song, or go to the next song easy by going forward. I have my sensor button that's here, but if I hold down Shift and press that, it's gonna put the platter into reverse and then back again. I have the option to do manual loops here with my in and out. Easy with the manual loops. And if I want to get out of the loop, I can press here and that will get out of the auto loop. I can also use this encoder knob here to be able to choose the size of the auto loop that I want to use. And then I can set the auto loop and then go down in size or go back up, increasing it. Very easy. On the screen, I see my library information here. I also have the option to be able to go through my crates and choose a different crate if I want to, and then scroll through the songs in it to choose something, right? I also have the option to be able to go to my prepare window. If I had a song in the prepare window, I could go to it and choose it and load it in. But here I'm gonna go back to this crate here and go to the songs and I can scroll through it. Inside here, it gives you the name of the song, it gives you the artist, the BPM, the key, and the time. And I can organize the songs by any of those criteria of metadata. So right now I have it by the name of the song, but if I want to do it by BPM, I can organize it by BPM or by key or by time of the song. So again, being able to use this touchscreen is super helpful by being able to touch it and organize things in the screen as you want them to be. Also, if you have needle search turned on, or pardon me, if you have needle search ability on your inside of Serato DJ Pro, then you can needle search through the track and get to the place where you want to be at and start playing from there by being able to touch it. Now, inside of the program, when you go to the setup, you have the option to be able to use needle search or not. So when I have disabled needle search during playback turned off, I can scroll through the track very easily. If I turn that on, now when I go to press this, I cannot search through the track at all. So depends on your workflow, what you want to do. If it makes more sense for you to have needle search on or off, up to you, right? Back to the media player, I have the option again to use the encoder knob here to be able to load songs, and I can also go move through the various parts of the program, whether it be through the library, going through the crates, going to the prepare window, or then going to the actual songs inside the crate to be able to load them up and to be able to work with. And again, using the encoder knob, I can choose a song and then press down on it and I can load the song. Okay, so let's talk about the torque. The torque adjuster is here. And you can either have it as normal or high. I prefer normal, but some people like it high if they want to have more tension with the torque on the platter. So using normal here, I can feels pretty good. And when I now move it over to high, I can feel there's a little more tension on the platter. Again, for some people, they like it on high. I like it on normal, right? Next to that, we have the stop time for the platter. So with fast, when I stop, it's gonna stop automatically. When I go to play and I have it on slow, all the way to the right, it's gonna give that slow kind of turntable fade out feel when you press the stop button, right? So you can adjust that to however you want it to be. Some people wanna have a little bit, right? Some people wanna have a little more, And then again, you can go all the way slow, kind of fading out all the way. Pretty nice, right? You have the option to use the motor or not. So as you see now, the motor is not moving, and this is now going to slow down or speed up the track if I'm using the platter, right? But as it is now, the motor's not gonna move while the song is playing. Turn the motor back on, it picks up right away to where the track was playing at, and I can continue on from there. So if you want to use sync, you have the option to do so here on the media player. So here we have sync that's turned on. If I want to turn sync off, I can easily go to shift and then press sync and turn it off. I'll turn it back on right now. And here, right below that, I have the option to turn the key lock or pitch and time DJ, depending on which one you have. Pitch and time DJ as an expansion pack. You can turn it on or off here. So here I can turn it off, and when I change the pitch adjust, it's gonna change the pitch of the song. This is with that key lock or the pitch and time DJ turned off. But if I turn that back on here and now use it, because I'm using pitch and time DJ, I can slow it down and still keep the same key of the track while it's playing, speeding it up or slowing it down. That works really well. If I want to change the range of my pitch adjust, I can hold down shift and I can change that range by going +6 -6, +8 -8, +10 -10, +16 -16, +50 -50, and also +100 -100. And you'll see that change here inside the screen. So now with +100 -100, I can go really kind of drag it out. And you can see the platter starting to change with it too, which is pretty cool. Right? I'm gonna bring that back to +8 -8. Kind of normal range here for the pitch adjust. There's also a slip here. So when I turn slip on, it'll pick back up after the movements that I make here on the platter. And also with the cue points as well. You can also do that with loops and all other kind of stuff on the actual player itself. So let's talk about the pad features here on the SC5000M. So we're in hot cue right now, and if I want to make a hot cue, another one, I can easily do so by pressing a hot cue, right? And if I don't like that, I made a mistake, I don't want to have it there anymore, I can press down shift and press it and it gets rid of it. When I press hot cue for the second time, this will now get me into cue loop. So with cue loop, I can press it and it's going to trigger the first cue point and also make a loop based upon the size of the loop value that I have inside of Serato DJ Pro. If I hold down shift, I can now trigger it with that loop just like a hot cue. And when I want to get rid of it, at least turn the loop off that is, I can now go to the auto loop encoder knob and press down on it and it gets me out of the loop. When I hold down shift and press hot cue, it now gets me into pitch play mode. And with pitch play mode, I can now I can go up and down by pitch and semitone, and I can also adjust the range of the semitones by now using the parameter buttons here. Very easily. So those are the functions that you can do with the hot cue with the pads. Next, I'll go to loop, and here with loop, I'll be able to set up auto loops. So now this is an auto loop based on one beat. I can go by half, use the parameter buttons here to go lower or higher for the loops. And when I press it again, it turns it off. I also have right next to it the beat jump controls. So here I have the option to choose the range of the beat jumps. I can go as high or low as I want to, from 1/32 of a beat all the way up to 32 beats. I'll go here to 4 beats and I'll beat jump forward and backwards all in time, right? When I press on loop the second time, this will now allow me to turn on or off a save loop that I have on the track, right? So when I get to that loop, it'll automatically start to loop. Or if I hold down Shift, it will now re-trigger that save loop. And again, I'm gonna get out of it by pressing the auto loop encoder knob here, and I'm out of it. Roll. So all your loop rolls are here, very easy to have access to with the pads. And again, you can change the range of how you want the loop rolls to work by using these parameter pads that are here, right? And then you also have beat jumps right next to it as well. When you press roll for the second time, this will now get you into your sampler. So you'll be able to get to all your sample sounds very easily. Going into your slicer, when you press it, you'll now be able to see all your parts for 2 bars cut into 4 slices, and you can then start to go back and choose which ones you want to play back. So easy with the slicer there, and if you want to loop just a particular section of that, you press it again for the loop slicer, and it'll stay rotating in those 2 bars, and you can start to slice up within those 2 bars. So a lot of great features that you can use the pads for right here on the SC5000Ms. So one of the great things about these media players is that if you want to, you can control multiple decks with one media player. So in this instance, how I have it set up is I can control decks 1 and also deck 3 on this deck. And over here, I can control decks 2 and 4 on this side. I'm just gonna focus on this side just as an example of what we can do. So deck 1, the track's already playing. I'm gonna go to deck 3 here. And when I press this, you see that the platter stops because there's nothing loaded into deck 3 yet. So I can go through, load the same song just for consistency's sake. And now you see both of them, they're playing at the same time. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this one down. Right? And then the same thing, go back to deck 1, press the cue point. And there you go, right? So I have control over decks 1 and 3 on this side, the same thing for decks 2 and 4 on this side. If I only had one media player playing and connected to Serato DJ Pro, then I would have control over decks 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the same time. But again, because I have 2 decks connected, I have 1 and 3 on this side, 2 and 4 on this side. Gives a lot of room for you to be able to kind of mix and play in different ways, 4-deck DJing, mixing up stuff really easily. The last thing about these media players, on the back are USB ports here. So with the USB ports, if I have my computer connected, and let's say my man Derek here, my man Destruct in the back on the cameras, decide that he wanted to come and play with me, he could bring his USB stick with the Serato library on it, or USB hard drive, and plug it in. And on my computer, his files would show up, and then he would be able to scroll through the library here to find his songs and start to play. So the hub works basically from the USB straight to the computer to be able to make that connectivity happen, to find his library, his songs that play with me if we're doing a set together. So really great connectivity there with the USB on the back. So that's a really great overview on the new Denon DJ SC5000Ms, which work in HID mode with the new version of Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1, which you can download right now from the Serato website. Also, the X1800 mixer, which works with the club kit via Serato. And we also covered the new Denon DJ Prime 4 controller, which also now works with Serato DJ Pro 2.3.1. Make sure you go to the website and download the new version of Serato to work with all this great Denon DJ gear. My name's OP, Artist Relations Manager here in the Brooklyn studio, and we'll see you next time. Peace.